Okay, let's go on to emotions and mental health. So, this trick that I was talking about that you can use to uncover the parts of you that you've just suppressed for years, what is it? Okay, so let's think about this. When you're young, or even throughout your life, and it still happens now, you're learning to not do certain things. You're learning that certain ways of thinking are risky based on what happens in your life. You think a certain way and you say something, and then you get trauma, and you learn in the future to not allow yourself to think these things. It's just crazy. Think about why people get so stuck in perspectives as we get older. This is why. So how do you do this sort of reboot that clears out this memory, that you've got of these traumas and things like this? Well, the trick that you do is you take some of your opinions, list some of your opinions, and now you try and think about the opposite of those opinions. It seems so simple, doesn't it? But it works. So what happens is you'll think about your opinion on something. You'll try and think about the opposite opinion. And with some things, you won't let yourself. You'll feel really uncomfortable, or you'll get distracted in the moment. You'll start thinking about something else. And this is how you know that this opinion is not your choice. It's not your rational mind. It's not you actually choosing what makes most sense. You just become emotionally attached to something. Because how do you know this? Well, because you're trying to just think about the opposite of it. You're not saying that I'm going to take the opposite opinion and that's going to be my opinion from now on. You're just saying, I want to explore what the opposite opinion is. What is it? And you won't let yourself even consider it. This is how you know that you're limiting yourself in the way that you're thinking without even knowing it. So let's think about this. Some things, try this with some really seemingly silly ideas, first of all, to get used to it. So I could look at the table I just have here in the living room, and I could say, what's my opinion of this table? It's a good table. It's quite modern. It's not too flashy, so it doesn't distract my attention from important things in life. It reminds me of minimalism, and it makes me feel that it serves its purpose. It's got a nice shelf underneath as well, table on top. So it's really functional. And that's exactly what my opinion is on this. It's a good table. I put my coffee on it every day, and that's fine. So now I would try and think about my opposite opinion. This will be a bit strange at first, but you've got to think about the things that you said and then try and think about what the opposite would be. So I said that it's a good table and it's quite modern, but really, actually, looking at it now, it's just the most basic thing that's not even inventive at all. It's not like anyone's thought about this and then thought, I'm going to improve the table. It's just some IKEA table that's so basic that it's not even, you can't even say it's modern. It just looks like a table. So it's kind of boring, really. And yeah, it doesn't bring anything to my life. It's just the most boring thing in one color, and it's not really even functional for what it should be, because it's limited by the amount of things that you can put on it. I would just, you see, this is kind of tricky at first, but your mind will get good at it. It's you put a cup on it, and the table's not substantially big enough. So like wherever your cup is, it's just going to be cluttered in with other things that inevitably end up on the table. So it's not even functional. Throughout the day, I drink water, I drink tea, and these cups end up on the table because I'm drinking water and tea at the same time, maybe reading a book. And the table is just covered with things, and you can't even use it. Every day you clear it, and then it's like when it's clear, it's at its most functional. When you're not even using it, it's at its most functional, because, you know, this is just a thinking exercise. So yeah, that's an example that was actually quite difficult to do, but you'll get good at it from practicing. Just do it with other things. And what you want to do is you want to then do this with people. You want to do this with things like your work. What's your opinion of your job? What's your opinion of certain people in your family? What's your opinion of friends? And then you want to try and think of the opposite. And this is where you really start to come across the challenges. So I wouldn't recommend starting out with those things. But eventually what you want to do is you want to think about the people that you want to improve relationships in your life, the important people in your life. And you want to think about the important things in your life, like your job. And you want to try and think about the opposite of that. Maybe you will start to uncover that you're not actually even letting yourself think. You're stuck in certain ways of thinking about a person. And this really limits our relationships, because it also means that sometimes when we get in arguments with people, it's not because they even said something that was offensive to us, but because we're so attached to seeing this person in this way that they didn't even say anything offensive, but we can only take it in one way, because we only allow ourselves to take it in one way. So you can already probably see how beneficial this can be. Okay, of course, I'll go into more detail if you decide that you want to give me a comment below, tell me that this is the thing that I should talk about more in my next video, then I'll do that.